Okay, give it a couple minutes here. All right, welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Carlito Santiago. Make sure that's all. Yep. Okay. And today we will be predicting the Elimination Chamber 2026, headed for Chicago, Illinois. If you guys haven't already, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, drop a like, comment down below, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a stream. Okay, so just a couple things I want to pop up here. Hold on. Notepad. Here we go. So, put this to the side. So, okay. So, 2026 Elimination Chamber, also known as No Escape Chicago, or in Germany, Elimination Chamber Chicago, will be taking place this Saturday in the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. This will be the first Elimination Chamber to be held in the United States since 2021, as well as the first time in the country with spectators, whatever. It will be on the ESPN app streaming, of course. So, we have a lot to unpack here, okay? We have 4 matches set for the chamber, and of course, we have a lot of contenders. And we have a mystery crate, that I want to address too. So, I don't know exactly, I haven't read anything, I haven't heard anything from the internet stating that, anything about who's in the mystery box, or who's in the mystery crate, I should say. I've heard a lot of funny jokes. They've made fun of the crate itself. Like I've heard Vince McMahon might be in the thing. Maybe somebody from AEW even could be in the fucking box. Who knows? Anybody could be living in a box, baby. So, I want to start off with the women's Elimination Chamber match, and give you an insight of if maybe I don't think the box will be related to the women's. Like, I don't think anybody will be revealed from the women's side. Maybe, possibly, could possibly be. And if so, I'm gonna say them right now. I think that Bianca Belair could be a good choice. Dr. Britt Baker could make her big surprise entrance here. And mind you, this would be big because it's Chicago. Never mind. She is a big name coming from AEW, okay? If she is still with AEW, who knows? But regardless, I was going to say she's a big Pittsburgh, but I was like, wait a minute, we're in Chicago. Oops. And this is like almost the first time that nobody in either Elimination Chamber matches are from Chicago, let alone AJ and Punk being from Chicago. Well, AJ from New Jersey, but you get the point. So, for the women's, we have Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kiana James, and Raquel Rodriguez. So, a lot going on here, huh? They're all going to find out who's going to face Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania 42. Seeing that all these women have been added, I would like to pull up the bracket here. So, of course, that I have right here. I'll pull this down a bit. Oh, okay. Here is our women's. So Tiffany Stratton got in by defeating Chelsea Green and Lash Legend. Alexa Bliss would then get in with defeating Zelina Vega and Julia. Kiana James would surprisingly get her way in by defeating Flair and Nia Jax. And then we get to the Raw side. Rhea Ripley would defeat Ivy Nile and Lyra Valkyria to get her way in there. Asuka would defeat Bayley and Natalya to get in. And Raquel would defeat Io Sky and Kairi Sane to get in. So, a lot of contenders for this, and most of big names. Like, for instance, Flair is a big name. Bayley's a big name. Natty can even be considered a big name. Io Sky's a big name. Julia not even given a fucking proper push. And that's about it. Like, literally. So, let me break down each one of these stars and get to my predictions. As you know, my predictions contain 4 picks from the Elimination Chamber because there are 4 pods. Not only that, but of course with a multi-person match, it has to be structured that way. I have to leave 2 people at least out. I can't, hopefully I'm not wrong with this, but I only have 2 picks this year. But let's break it down. I first want to talk about the elephant in this match, which is Rhea Ripley. Now, I love Rhea Ripley. Great person. She's the Eradicator. She has a lot of accomplishments. Rhea Ripley has done a lot in her time in WWE, especially from her rise up in 2023. So from 2023 to now, we kind of see her rise up, and she is now partnered with Io Sky. Now, do mind you that I did put Rhea Ripley as a C here because she is holding a championship. So is also Jey Uso, but I'll get to that when we get to that. Now, anyway, Rhea Ripley already carries a Women's World Championship, the Women's Tag Team Championship, and she is most likely to be defending them with Io at WrestleMania against the Bella Twins. So, as much as I would love to see Rhea Ripley crush it against Jade Cargill, it ain't happening. I think Raquel and Roxanne will cost Rhea Ripley the opportunity to go to face Jade. Therefore, Rhea Ripley is not winning this match, in my opinion. I want to talk about somebody who has not been in an Elimination Chamber match ever before. Kiana James. Kiana James has not been in an Elimination Chamber match, period. This is an unpredictable person because she's never been in one. She's the first time she's going to compete in one, and that's great. That makes history for her. She knows the ways of the cage. Now, we don't know much about Kiana James. What we do know is that she's more of a lackey. She more lacks with Julia. The fact that they gave Kiana James the opportunity and not Julia really kind of irritates me. But for the same reasons here is that Kiana James doesn't feel that important. And even if she did go up against Jade Cargill, it wouldn't feel like a marquee main event. It would feel like more of fucking like, okay, we're just going to open the show with her. So Kiana James ain't winning, in my opinion. So we can move on from that. Kiana James, to me, is not winning. I want to talk about another superstar, and this is Raquel Rodriguez. Part of the Judgment Day, has gotten a title opportunity against Stephanie Vakir and has not won it. Now, a good match between her and, of course, Jade Cargill would be interesting, seeing that Liv Morgan has talked about wanting to bring gold to the Judgment Day, back to the Judgment Day. There's something bigger for Raquel. Considering that a Liv Morgan win at WrestleMania is in the future, or is in the cards, it really puts into question how long this partnership or friendship's going to last, because do remember Raquel got eliminated from the Royal Rumble by her best friend, Liv Morgan. Therefore, I do think that Raquel will get a title match against Liv Morgan and possibly become Women's World Champion at some point later down the line, because I know WWE wants to do something like that in those regards. Make Raquel champion. Raquel was champion way, way, way back in NXT, and she was a pretty dominant champion. So, I don't think Raquel's winning this match. I think they're going to do a multi-person spot where she eliminates Ripley, the one person who could possibly eliminate Raquel. I think Raquel will probably get eliminated by the likes of Asuka, Bliss, and Tiffany Stratton, which I have to talk about. So Raquel is not in my books to win it either. But let's talk about Asuka for a minute. Asuka has won a lot of things. Asuka has won the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. Asuka has won the Elimination Chamber match. Asuka has also won the Money in the Bank briefcase. So she's won most of the marquee, big things, right? Won a Royal Rumble, won a Money in the Bank, won Elimination Chamber. She's won a lot of titles as well. Considering that she's never won at WrestleMania, irritates her. Doesn't irritate me, it irritates her. And I really think Asuka should have won against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania when she won the Royal Rumble. Asuka was destined for bigger things, and this could possibly it. There's just one problem with that. The one problem is that Asuka's a heel. And if you've been watching this for quite some time, how I feel about heel versus heels. Asuka is a great heel. But to put her now in a babyface role, let alone have to change Jade Cargill to a babyface, it ain't going to work. Plus, she and Kairi Sane are still a tag team in that regard. Asuka will kill it in the Elimination Chamber, but she probably won't last long. Therefore, Asuka is not in my books to win. So here comes the last two superstars who are in my books to win it. First, I want to talk about Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton has just came back. She came back at the Royal Rumble. The last time we saw her was the Saturday Night Main Event. This was pre-Royal Rumble. Saturday Night Main Event where she lost the title against Jade Cargill. Now, if WWE is trying to run back Tiffany and Jade, well, then this is just lazy booking at this point. Like, what the fuck? Why the fuck are we going with Stratton to win it all? To get to face Jade Cargill again? For what purpose? We need to build up new stars. And WWE has failed to do that. Now, when I told my friend about the men's, he was like, who the fuck are these people? When I told him about the women's, he knew most of the women's in the women's Elimination Chamber match, opposed to Kiana James, of course. But I just don't understand the redoing of a match that has already happened and nobody gave a fuck about it. Maybe they're shooting shit at this point. Tiffany Stratton feels more confident and it feels more likely. Let me rephrase. Tiffany feels like a safe choice at this point in the Elimination Chamber match. And as the odds are now, the odds are favored in Stratton's field. Stratton is favored to win this Elimination Chamber match because she's the odds-on favorite. But that's a safe choice. My pick is Alexa Bliss because WWE could do more writing with this. Alexa Bliss is right now in a tag team with Charlotte Flair. Now, assuming that I was going to be right with Flair winning this and taking on Jade Cargill, it could be Bliss who takes on Jade Cargill and defeats her, winning the championship, and now starting a whole lifelong jealousy story arc with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, where Charlotte Flair becomes overly jealous of Alexa Bliss holding the championship when it should be Flair, because Flair is a marquee name, because Flair is, the greatest of all time, right? Like, it has a SummerSlam match written all over it, Flair versus Bliss. And I just feel like, obviously a smaller person defeating Jade Cargill would seem pretty bad, but it's the closest thing to a Charlotte Flair Jade you'll probably get. Bliss has won the Elimination Chamber before. Don't get it wrong. I think she was the first woman to win the Elimination. 2018, she was the first woman to win the Elimination Chamber. Anyway, whatever. She still went on to do amazing things. She, too, has won a Money in the Bank, won the Elimination Chamber, has competed at WrestleMania, and, of course, it'd be no different. I think that WWE should go with Alexa Bliss to win it all. They should push Alexa Bliss to defeat Jade Cargill, and they should start an overly jealous storyline between Bliss and Flair, where Flair becomes overly jealous of Bliss for the championship. And Bliss is going to give Charlotte Flair a match, and Charlotte Flair is going to lose. And this is more of a friendship match. This is more of like, oh, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna take it easy. Bliss shouldn't fucking have to lose this. Or maybe Bliss does lose the championship to Flair at Backlash. Or maybe Jade Cargill gets involved, whatever the fucking case may be. All I know is that I believe that Alexa Bliss should win this to start giving us a storyline within SmackDown, because there ain't nothing going on with the women's division so far, and they've done jack shit for a storyline. Like, even Jade Cargill is feeling like shit, so we should really get her out of that fucking predicament. Now, if any of these women are to be taken out, Bianca Belair would also be a great choice for that crate. She comes in, she replaces Kiana James, or whoever the fuck else in this match, and she wins it and faces her old friend at WrestleMania, which has been talked about multiple times. Bianca Belair wants Jade Cargill at WrestleMania. Just a thought and a possibility. My final predictions is Alexa Bliss and Tiffany Stratton win the Elimination Chamber. One of those women win the Elimination Chamber, whether it comes down to one of them. One of them's winning the Elimination Chamber, and I 100% believe it should be Bliss, because Tiffy time is overrated. Let's talk about something that is quick. Becky Lynch, AJ Lee for the Women's IC Championship. Boy, oh boy, do I have to take you back. Well, we don't really have to talk about, okay. So, let's run through this. On September 5th, 2025 episode of SmackDown, AJ Lee returned to the WWE for the first time since 2015, aiding her husband against Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Of course, they would have a mixed tag team match at WrestlePalooza, yada, yada, yada. After a brief hiatus, she would come back on the November 17th episode of Raw, distracting Lynch to cost her the Women's IC Championship, and at Survivor Series competed in the War Games. Now, Lynch would obviously regain the title back, but whatever. After another brief hiatus, on the February 9th episode of Raw, Lee returned, and much to Becky's dismay, Becky Lynch asked Lee if she wanted to face her at Elimination Chamber in Chicago, where Lee, of course, currently resides. AJ Lee mentioned that since she has already beaten Becky twice, it would make her the number one contender for the title, right? Well, Lynch denied that. Lee then teased that she would go back home if she could not fight for the title and refused the match. However, Lynch eventually agreed to defend the title against Lee at the event. So, assuming that WWE wants to run this back again, there's only one option. WWE cannot afford to have Becky Lynch just fucking lose the championship, right? And WWE can't afford to have AJ Lee lose the fucking match. Therefore, there's only one solution. If WWE wants to run this back at WrestleMania, the best and only solution is AJ Lee wins the match, Becky Lynch retains the title. It's going to be some stupid fucking shenanigans, you guys. It's going to be count out, DQ, Becky gets herself disqualified, whatever it is. AJ Lee wins and Becky retains. That's the prediction. There's nothing else I can come down to. There's no thought where AJ wins the championship and Becky wins the championship. It's gonna be a great Monday Night Raw to see Punk and AJ Lee holding championships in their fucking grasp. Both walking down with championships. That would be interesting. So, I think that if AJ's gonna win the title, AJ should win it at WrestleMania. That would be fucking marquee here, you know? Because all we would be doing is giving Becky up the title for her to chase it again after Lee and probably have her regain it at WrestleMania. Why are we doing that? Why are we dropping a title to regain it a pay-per-view later? I don't fucking understand it. Let alone we have 7 fucking months to build to. You have 7 weeks to build to WrestleMania. These are going to be the longest 7 fucking weeks possible. And I just don't want to see WWE have to do a rinse and repeat system where they drop the title just for another superstar to regain it. It's basically the whole Cody thing now. Anyway, there's only one way. If WWE decides to run this back, it's got to be AJ winning and Becky Lynch retaining. Becky's going to get herself DQ'd. It just has to be. If they're going to run it back. If not, my final prediction would be AJ Lee winning. So, to get it clear cut, I will take the half a point if I'm right. AJ Lee wins, Becky retains. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's more or less Becky retains and AJ Lee wins the match. All right, let's talk about this men's because I want to save CM Punk and Finn Balor for last. Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, and Trick Williams. Well, boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to explain here. So, let me pop this up. Whoop. Randy Orton defeated Solo Sikoa and Aleister Black to qualify. Cody defeated Sami Zayn and Jacob Fatu to qualify, thanks to McIntyre. Trick Williams defeated Damian Priest and Carmelo Hayes to qualify. Then LA Knight would defeat Austin Theory and Penta. Javon Evans would defeat Gunther Dominic. And Jey Uso subsequently would defeat Americano and Reed. Now, Reed was originally supposed to win before being injured. Reed got injured during the match, and Reed was supposed to be in here. So, now that you guys are filled in, let's talk about each man. Let's talk about the World Tag Team Champion, Jey Uso. Jey Uso, Mr. Yeet himself, has been on a roll. He is one of the men who I think will be taken out and replaced by someone. Now, I've heard rumors of Brock Lesnar getting in there, but after Brock Lesnar shut him down himself, he wants to fucking have a WrestleMania open challenge, which he thinks nobody will agree to. Now, it would make zero fucking sense for him to do an open challenge, and this is Brock Lesnar we're speaking, do an open challenge just to fucking compete in the Elimination Chamber. For what reason? Well, if nobody's going to challenge me, I might as well just challenge for the World Championship. Yeah, now fuck that. Fuck that. No. No. Yeet. Anyway, Jey Uso was most likely to be taken out and replaced with whoever's in that fucking crate. And I have 2 theories. One, we could be getting a repackaging of Royce Keys, even though he says he's retired and wants to be backstage. I don't know. But one other person is Sheamus. Now, there's no confirmation on if Sheamus' shoulder is cleared and ready to go, but we do know this. Sheamus was feeling a little bit stiff in his shoulder in September of 2025. He would then, of course, get injured in November and get surgery in December. So in November, he got injured. December, he got surgery. 2 months later, I think his shoulder should be pretty fine. And this would make perfect sense too. Sheamus is the best friend of Drew McIntyre. So for Sheamus to win this match would also be interesting. However, there's something that led me to believe another person in mind to win this match. And he's already in the match, but I'll get to him in a bit. Jey Uso's a World Tag Team Champion, and assuming that Jey Uso will be defending the Tag Team titles against Austin Theory and Logan Paul, considering that the Vision doesn't have anything going for them, might as well put the Tag Team Championships on them to give them something to do or to make them feel relevant or important, even though the Raw Tag Team Champions have not been relevant or have not been important in the past weeks. Jey Uso will not be winning this match, let alone if he'll even compete. Let's talk about Tricky Trick. Trick Williams is a rising star when it comes to this. Trick Williams is in that kind of stage where he's going to be he's going to be one of the odds-on favorite, simply because, you know, everybody loves Whoop That Trick. Not only that, but he's supposed to be a heel, and people are cheering for him, and he's getting pops when he's coming out to the ring. It's fucking astronomical. Trick Williams has a lot to learn. So has Javon Evans. But Trick Williams is a heel, and this constitutes with, of course, how Drew McIntyre is being a heel. And you know how I feel about heel versus heels. It ain't gonna work. As much as I love Trick, if they can turn Trick babyface and make him feel more relevant, that's great. But as far as I'm concerned, I've already got him booked here on my WrestleMania 42 bingo card for a U.S. title ladder match. So it's not Tricky Trick. Let's talk about Javon Evans. The next reincarnation of Kofi Kingston. Javon Evans has still got a lot to learn. He's still young. He's still athletic. He's agile. I like that in a young guy. I've heard a lot of things about him. I've heard a lot of things about him being, him wanting to, or people assuming that he could be the youngest world champion. Right now, as it stands, Randy is the youngest world champion, with Brock Lesnar as the youngest WWE champion. It would be cool. I think Javon Evans could possibly be the youngest U.S. or Intercontinental, but as for world champion, I don't think so. He's got a lot to learn around the rings, and he's in a match with a guy like Randy, and him and Randy have had a match on NXT before, so it's really good to see them together. He's got something to work with, or he's got someone to work with, not something, but someone, which feels safe, which feels better safe than sorry. So as for this, I love Evans, but he's not winning. Let's talk about LA Knight. Yeah. I hope LA Knight and Jey Uso start this match off. That would feel really good. The Yeah versus the Yeet. Finally, the one-on-one match that we've been wanting to see. LA Knight is a great superstar. But if the rumors are true, and that he will be the one challenging Brock Lesnar, he ain't winning this match. The rumors also there's also rumors spreading that Lesnar would be in this match by attacking LA Knight, taking him out, which would set up their match for WrestleMania, possibly because Brock Lesnar ain't going to last long. Anyway, it was also LA Knight and Cody who eliminated Brock Lesnar from the Royal Rumble. Let's not forget about that. LA Knight's got a loud mouth, and I hope down the line and in the future he becomes a heel, because he's got the mouthpiece for it. And he don't give a fuck anymore. And I can see that heel turn is ramping up. They're trying to build to his heel turn, which is great. But right now he's a babyface, and he's a mega star. So that mega star is going to be a mega beast incarnate at WrestleMania. So if that's the rumors, and the rumors are Brock Lesnar and LA Knight, then LA Knight can't win this match because he won't be facing Drew McIntyre. Which leads us to the last two superstars, the mentor and the protege, Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes has been deemed to be, well, overbooked in the past years. Cody wants to chase after that championship because he's the important guy right now. Well, as far as I'm concerned, Randy Orton seems like a pretty good guy. And as far as I'm concerned as well, a possibility for WrestleMania also has hit the mind. Remember how I stated I left it up in the air, but then I took it off. They're assuming, the rumors are now, that Drew McIntyre will be involved in a multi-man match. By multi-man match, I'm assuming that it's more than 3, or more than, obviously, the one-on-one, which we knew about Jacob Fatu. But now that it's multi-man, even with Jacob, and there's a lot of support from the backstage that want to get Fatu in there, that means that we could be looking at Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu, and Randy Orton, which I had earlier stated. Go back in my streams and watch that. I did make that very clear as a possibility. I even pulled it up for you guys when we were doing the qualifyings. I don't remember which Raw it was, but you guys can go back and find that and let me know in the comments. But Cody Rhodes has a good chance of winning this. He is the odds-on favorite. And honestly, I don't know. Drew McIntyre also attacked Randy Orton, what was it, last week, to win, or to have Aleister Black win the match against Randy. So clearly they want to do a fatal four-way. So here's what I'm now getting, because WWE keeps changing their shit, because WWE knows that we're catching on to them. I'm going to go with both Cody and Randy to win this match. Now, Randy Orton, the Apex Predator, the Legend Killer, the Viper. I think WWE is going to add Randy, and he's going to make Randy face McIntyre at WrestleMania, and Cody and Jacob Fatu will be added, because WWE likes to fucking change the shit on us. Now, maybe they add Randy and Jacob Fatu later, but I think right now, I don't think Jacob's ever had a match with Drew one-on-one. Oh, wait, no, he has. But not for, like, the title. But Cody has. Cody has already. Randy has not. And it would be better to see that Drew McIntyre screws Cody out of this. Like, Drew McIntyre screws Cody in the Elimination Chamber, and it leads us to Randy Orton winning. Right? So now it's Drew versus Randy at WrestleMania, and Cody and Jacob are left out. Which now Nick Aldis has to fucking... Because the Cody crybabies are going to keep on crying, and the Fatu fannies are going to keep on fanning, they're going to get added somehow. Whether it's Drew McIntyre, whether it's Randy putting up his WrestleMania opportunity again in a triple threat match, where both Cody and Jacob pin Orton in some fashion, or make Orton tap out while pinned. Whatever the case is, it's going to be some fucking shenanigans. And Drew McIntyre is going to get himself stuck in a pickle. And Nick Aldis is going to have to say, well, you know what? We're going to make this a fatal four-way at WrestleMania. So whatever. So my final prediction is Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes wins the Elimination Chamber. One of them wins. Preferably, I think it's going to be Cody. But it might just be Randy. And then for who's in the crate, it's probably Sheamus. Because we haven't seen that motherfucker in weeks. And he's a babyface. So this fits perfectly. Or maybe it's the Gobbledygoober. Who the fuck knows? But now we get on to CM Punk and Finn Balor. Something to talk about. I won't get into details, but on the January 12th episode of Monday Night Raw, Finn Balor was confronted by stablemate Liv Morgan after she noticed that Balor had become complainant and had not made any moves to pursue a title. Morgan also claimed that Balor was not serious about backing his claim of carrying the group on his back and winning a title, which Balor previously stated as his goal for 2026. This led to Balor interrupting CM Punk later that night, who recalled that Punk stated that Balor was one of the people he wanted to face after winning the title on Saturday Night Main Event XL 41 in November 2025. Following exchange of words, Punk agreed to the title match. So this would happen in Ireland. Punk would retain the title and show respect to Balor afterwards. The following week, Balor showed respect to Punk, who stated that Balor should win the Royal Rumble and earn a rematch for WrestleMania 42. However, when Balor declared to Raw General Manager that he wants to enter, all the spots were filled. Yeah. So this infuriated Balor. So later that night, Balor attacked Punk during his title defense. 2 weeks later, Balor interrupted Punk's scheduled interview with Michael Cole to challenge him at Elimination Chamber in Punk's hometown, which is interesting. You see, Balor challenged Punk in Punk's hometown. That's fucking weird, dude. That's fucking weird, because Balor couldn't win in his own home country. Now he thinks he can win in Punk's fucking home state. Anyway, Pierce denied Balor's request, not wanting to jeopardize Punk's title defense against the Royal Rumble winner Roman Reigns. Punk subsequently appeared and agreed to defend the title against Balor at the event, and Pierce, of course, had to make it official. Assuming that Punk, of course, is costing or ruining what could be the most stupendous WrestleMania marquee match. He's not, because, like I've stated before, Finn Balor has not been relevant since 2016. What has Finn Balor got to offer now? Finn Balor and CM Punk and Finn Balor had a great fucking match in Ireland. Don't get me wrong. I think that was fucking fire. But now here, I think it's going to be top notch. And I think they should be the main event here. I think they should open up with the women's, then do Becky and AJ, then do the men's Elimination Chamber, and then finish off with Punk and Balor. Because I know that match will kill. And then to have Roman Reigns show up and step face to face with CM Punk, oh yeah. And even have Balor possibly make a fucking babyface turn on Dominic to face him for the title at fucking WrestleMania. This has writing all over it. Finn Balor will show CM Punk and show the rest of the world why he's not a second best superstar. He will show the world that he's got what it takes. But CM Punk's got a lot to deal with Balor. Balor is pretty younger than Punk. Balor, I love how Balor mentioned the training that he has done too over the years, being in Japan, going around the world and touring and shit. And Punk just being an all-American man himself, all Chicago born. So, this seems pretty right. This seems pretty good. My final prediction is CM Punk retains the title. Roman Reigns appears to come face to face with Punk, or they save that for Raw. Fuck it, they'll save it for Raw. Who knows? But I think it might happen here. And also Balor turns face and attacks Dominic and challenges him for the IC title in the weeks coming. You'll get that. But until then, my final prediction is CM Punk retains the title, not ruining the biggest WrestleMania match of this year. So, that is all my predictions. Let me run through them again. CM Punk retains against Balor. AJ Lee wins, but Becky retains. Tiffany Stratton and Alexa Bliss winning an Elimination Chamber match, and Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes possibly winning the Elimination Chamber match. One of the two headed to face McIntyre, and one of the women's heading to face Jade Cargill for the title. All right? If you guys haven't already, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, comment down below, turn on those post notifications so you never miss a stream. I will see you guys on Saturday, and I will see you on Sunday to review the Elimination Chamber. Peace.